16th century set of knives with engraved notes. In those days, guests could sing at the end of a meal. Two bullets collided. Battle of Gallipoli, 1915–16. More than 100,000 men died in the battle. All members of this glider's landing party survived the war and met in 2011 in the same composition as they were back in 1944, before the landing in Normandy. The shortest war in history was the war between Britain and Zanzibar on 27 August 1896. It lasted exactly 38 minutes. The president of Equatorial Guinea, Francisco Macias Nguema, once invited all his political rivals to a stadium on Christmas Eve under the pretext of a social event. When everyone had gathered, soldiers dressed as Father Christmas started firing machine guns at the spectators. The Nazis of Germany erected 5 signs in occupied cities as a sign of their victory: Oslo, Krakow, Warsaw, Paris. Now history is repeating itself, only from the east. Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci made history as the first athlete to receive the highest 10 points in artistic gymnastics, performing on the uneven bars at the Montreal Olympics on July 18, 1976. A variant of the combat trap in Vietnam, a person caught in such a trap would turn themselves into minced meat under the weight of their own body.
In the 1920s, aeronauts strove to perfect a strange windmill on wheels called a helicopter. This French model flew for only a few precarious moments and never got as high as an elephant's eye. Yet its achievement was a new world record and an important advance in aviation.
Pile for the wood, she's running wild. A pilot could easily lose his head if he ran in the wrong direction. Early helicopters were dangerous. Careful, men. Watch out for tricks. In Detroit, the first umbrella helicopter makes its bow. As light as lead and cast iron could make her, this undergrown carousel was supposed to jump into the air. Try this on your next hangover.
A helicopter from 1920?
Back in France, there appeared a new kind of copter driven by a pair of oversized pinwheels.
In 1918, all janitors in New York City were required to wear masks to counteract a flu epidemic. The slogan at the time read, "Better to look ridiculous than dead." Children make a kite out of money that has become worthless paper due to hyperinflation. Germany, 1923. China usually tries to hide excavations and discoveries on its territory, but sometimes interesting objects do become known to all. In 2017, about 140 ancient tombs were discovered in China, one of which stood out brightly among the others. The object, as if with a huge hatch on top, aroused the interest of many, but it ended up going nowhere. As can be guessed, the Chinese government never reported what was allegedly discovered in the tomb. Other than that, the location of this structure is still unknown to this day. Vikings lived in Greenland for almost 500 years, from 980 to 1450, just 40 years before Columbus. As Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, King Macbeth was a real historical figure. He ruled Scotland from 1040 to 1057. Petroglyph in Colombia. located in the equatorial region of the country, carved in solid granite. According to local legends, this is the exact place where from the Milky Way, the first people arrived in a canoe pulled by an anaconda. Man, woman, and 3 plants, yucca, coca, and yage. In 1859, 24 rabbits were released into the wild in Australia. Within 6 years, their number had grown to 6 million. In 1518 in Strasbourg, one woman began dancing for no reason and couldn't stop. Within a month, she was joined by 400 others. Changbauri. Well, Changbauri. Stepping Well, India, is located away from hiking trails. Its depth is 30 meters. The well has 3,500 stairs made of immaculate blocks, resistant to earthquakes. It was built in the 9th century. According to local legend, it was created in one day by white spirits. There are no quarries or traces of construction. Official purpose: to collect groundwater. Let's turn on our heads, engage logic and imagination. The stairs have no handrails. Water carriers would be exposed to deadly risk. In addition, water stagnates and is dangerous to health. The structure resembles a silo launcher. The standard depth of modern rocket silos is 30 meters. There was a legend that if there were no monkeys on Gibraltar, the British would lose it. So they sent more monkeys there during World War II. French soldiers of the 127th Infantry Regiment walked through Paris, France, November 22, 1915. Dwarf who became a giant. The Austrian Adam Rainer is the only man in history who was both a dwarf and a giant. At the age of 21, he was 118 centimeters tall. After that, he began to grow dramatically, and at age 32, his height was already 218 centimeters. Because of health problems, he was confined to bed and died in 1950 when he was 51. His maximum height was 234 centimeters. Oscar II, King of Sweden, 1872–1907, and Norway, 1872–1905, age 71, 1900s. The aqueduct bridge Pont de Gare in the south of France was built by the Romans almost 2,000 years ago. Surprisingly, the aqueduct still works. John Gacy's home. John Gacy was an American serial killer. In the 1970s, he kidnapped, raped, and murdered 33 young boys, 6 of whom are still unidentified. The day before and the 41st day after the outbreak of war, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Thank you for watching. This and even more interesting content can be found on the channel The Time Machine. See you there.